Hey guys, I'm back. I just wanted to throw some poems at you. I used to write poems, believe it or not. I believe I'm gonna probably start writing them again. But yeah, when I was in college and maybe a little bit out of college, I was writing a lot of poetry back then. You call it poetry, you call it whatever you want. Um, but I enjoyed it, and it's been a long time since I've read any of my stuff. I figured, why not throw it on your channel, man? Make this about all the stuff you love. Like, no matter what it is, just throw it on there. So I got no problem with that. So here you go. This one is called, I believe, Response. I believe that's what it's called. The day of awakening was much like stepping off a cliff into a colorful abyss of living light that severs the manacles of limited sight. Freedom to become the great fish flowing freely down a river of your own ideas. Unfortunately, we all get caught. Rip, line, and hook and mouth. We are pulled from our streams and oceans by another reality. The old angler, white beard whipping in the wind, he pulls us from the depths. Reality, consciousness, logic, and reason. Thankfully, due to reincarnation, we may return to our deep places in due time. I don't know when that was written exactly, but it was a while ago. This one, probably just call it Hard Skull, because that's the way it starts. Hard skull with flesh to cover it. Sweat glistens upon the face. Black beard split, long and proud. Mouth covered without a trace. Braided hair makes a trail. Thick and strong, the banshees wail. Red smoke all around, and darkness reigns. The ground is thick with eyes. They are attached to bodies that lay all around, slowly rotting like rats, drawing flies. I howl in heat as I walk down the street, hot pavement burning my feet, eyes and nose connected, electric like twine, visceral food, palpable like the smooth back of a black bug crawling up my arm. To see you is to know you, without a doubt, inside and out. The hot pavement feels nice on my feet, bare and naked, making love to the smooth city street. Crossing over the boardwalk's wooden back, I feel its ragged splinters penetrate. I take them with me into the burning sand. Sitting down in view of the sea, I extract the splinters. With my hand, I am lulled to sleep by the sounds of my brother gulls as they wheel in the sky. Dreams begin, day passes by. A lot of these have no titles, and like I'll read one and it'll blend into the other, and they kind of sound similar, but I bet you I could easily break them up and differentiate which one's which and put a title to them. But here's another one. All of your pain is a star burning into your soul, so you can remember and relate, connect with this life, so you can say you've had one. Experience makes us real. Without it, no more than an orange peel. Oh, this looks like it's gonna be a cool one. I am a traveler of both time and space. I know many things and have a universe at my disposal. But there are times when I become stranded in the physical. I lose the knowledge to travel or run out of gas. I've always been able to get it back. my advice to myself, now that I think of it, is to have great experiences while stranded, because this is fuel for later. Wow, I got some directions, I think, on out-of-body experiences. Clever man, clever man. I shouldn't be giving away all my secrets. Yeah. If I missed anything. Hey, the other day, I had a grasshopper in here, and it was actually in the room for like 2 days, I believe. I've caught them before in the house. They're green, very, very green. They look like a leaf, and they're pretty big. They're like that long. But I looked in my animal totems book. I wanted to see what it said, so I'll read it to you so you can know. So if a grasshopper comes into your life, I mean, this thing was in my room making noise at night, a weird noise, like I can't even make the noise myself, but it was wild. Not like a regular cricket sound, like or whatever. But anyway, grasshopper, keynote, uncanny leaps forward. Although the ancient Hebrews saw the grasshopper as a symbol of the scourge, in other societies, it held a position of honor and respect. In China, grasshoppers and crickets were symbols of good cheer, good luck, abundance, and virtue. Some even believed that relatives would come back to life as a grasshopper. Good thing I didn't kill it. They would construct small cages for those they would find. What I did was I got a paper cup, and I just went up to it. It was, at this point, it was on the chair, and it was just sitting there. And I think I talked to it, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, you know, how's everything?" Just be nice to them, you know what I mean? Nice, like you do to plants. You talk nicely to plants, and they'll grow. You talk mean to them, and they'll die. So anyways, I catch this little guy, and I bring him all the way downstairs and outside, and then I put him to the driveway so he could fly into the neighbor's yard with all the trees and stuff. And I says, your heart is free now. Have the courage to follow her. So anyway, and he flew away. As its name implies, the grasshopper moves by leaping and hopping. This is also how it escapes. It got away from me once, the day before that. It was on the ceiling, and I tried to get it, and I put it in the cup. I got it in the cup, and then I was getting down off my bed, and it's done little false move, and it flew right out of there, nowhere to be seen, till the next day. But anyway, grasshoppers have a tremendous jumping ability, and they can leap horizontally up to 20 times their own body length. For those with this totem, it is important to get off the haunches and move. Take a chance, take a leap forward. The hind legs of the grasshopper differ from the rest of its legs, the legs of other insects, and the legs of other insects. They are extremely long and large. The hind legs have delicately controlled muscles. Those with this totem will usually find that things don't move or flow the way they do with other people. Progress is not usually made step by step. Instead, others may be seen to be progressing while you seem to be sitting still. Happens to me sometimes. Seems like everybody's passing me by. Everybody's surpassing me. Everybody's doing so good. And then, before you know it, in one big, I'm out of there. And then I'm doing really, really good. But mostly, my achievements and leaps and bounds and where I flourish is internally. Like, rolled gold from the inside. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it means to be good to people. I treat everybody right. They love me for it. And I love them. I love people. I've even worked with what some arguably would say like the worst people around in the jail. But you know what? I had a lot more allies in there than I had enemies. A lot more people that had respect for me. And if they didn't have any respect for themselves either. I can tell you that right now. So I'm very, very happy to say that even though I might not be the most prosperous man alive, I might not have a Corvette or like a jet or like a big house or like all this stuff, but you know what? If I died right now, I could say I had a good life and I did the right thing and I treated people the way I'd want to be treated, with respect and dignity. So, grasshoppers can leap horizontally up to 20 times their own body length. For those with this totem, it is important to get off your haunches and move. Take a chance, take a leap forward. The hind legs of the grasshopper differ from the rest of its legs and the legs of other insects. They are extremely long and large. In case you guys never saw a grasshopper before. The hind legs have delicately controlled muscles. Those with this totem usually find that things don't move or flow the way they do with other people. You can say that again. I feel like I got these big grasshopper eyes right now and antennas sticking out of my head, and I'm like, I got that right. It's true though, like so many times I would just see people just really like passing me up and doing really well, and I would just be like getting down, feeling like a little sad, but then the next thing you know, someone would come around that I knew and distract me from my sadness, and then I'd forget all about it because I'm having fun with a friend or something like that, or I would go do something, something fun that I like to do, kayaking, canoeing, hiking and backpacking and stuff like that, riding a mountain bike, hanging around with my kids, fishing, stuff like that. Grasshoppers have an instinct for finding the sunny sides of mounds and other places so they can be exposed to the sun. They have a knack for being in the warmth and light. Interesting. The warmth and the light, eh? I love the warmth and the light. And knowing when to make their leaps. Trust your own instincts. Now that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on my intuition, third eye, trust in the universe. Going with what feels like the right thing, combined with your thoughts and what you know to be true. Your wisdom, intelligence, experience, all of that stuff. But I'm working on that. I'm working on really, really listening to my inner guides, my spirit guides, my ancestors, source. It's where it's at. I didn't always do that for most of my life, and that's probably what got me in a lot of these jams. But they got me out of it. Like I says in another video, I'm highly, highly protected by the spirit realm. Highly protected. And I'm grateful for that. That's worth more than gold. It's worth more than a Corvette or a jet. So again, listen to your inner voice to know when to make your moves in any areas of your life. Grasshoppers possess a tympanic organ on their front legs. As they breathe, this organ is activated by moving the legs in different directions. Crickets are like that too, in a way. They move their legs in the back to make music, sounds to attract mate and stuff, or like to indicate danger or whatever. This connection between sensing sounds and the legs is highly significant. Trust your inner voice. See what I mean? Those with grasshopper totems have an uncanny ability to leap into successful ventures. This becomes even more true when they learn to listen to that inner voice and follow their own instincts. Hey, that's advice for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody could follow that mantra. So, those with grasshopper totems have an uncanny ability to leap into successful ventures, like I said. This becomes even more true when they listen to that inner voice and follow their own instincts. Sometimes grasshopper can show up if we're not listening, or if we're afraid to make the leap off our mound. So sometimes when grasshoppers come into our lives, don't just like, oh, get out of here, bug, or yeah, whatever. No, take the time to everybody's got a phone. Look it up. What does a grasshopper mean? What's a hedgehog mean when it comes near me? Or anything. Just check it out. Maybe it'll give you a little insight, and maybe a little something, some way that you can. And if it's not a book like this that can elaborate it, and anybody can know the properties of an animal, check it out, study it, and then come up to your own conclusions on what it means spiritually or whatever. But this is a very wise individual. This is what's his name? Ted Andrews. I've been reading this guy's book since I was knee high to a grasshopper. No, probably since I was out of college. I was like in my 20s. That's when I started really. I'll tell you what, not to knock the educational system, but I will, because it definitely needs a lot of help. But I never got a better education than the education that I gave to myself. Once I got into college, I learned basically the way on how to study, on how to learn in large amounts of material at one time, and condense it down and break it down so that you could get the answers right on the test and know what you're talking about, and well versed in what you're supposed to be graduating for. But I took that and then I applied it to the books that I started to acquire outside of school. Go to the bookstore and go to the health and wellness, or the what's it called? New Age, they might call it. Yeah, a lot of that name gets a lot of bad rap. But I would just like to say personal development stuff, things like that. So yeah, I've got a whole bookcase full of books over here. And of all various types. And I love to read. So I probably read a lot on this channel, and it's information. I talk. It's not just me reading the book and then I'm done. I'll talk about these things, So I'm almost done with this. So just take your time. Be patient. Such a goofball. All right. Sometimes the grasshopper can show up if we are not listening, or if we are afraid to make the leap off our mound. Many times such fears have to do with the fact that no one else has done it this way. Grasshopper people have to learn to make new leaps. Life only becomes difficult when they refuse to move. At such times they may feel as though they are experiencing a scourge themselves. Remember, a grasshopper always leaps forward. It doesn't leap backwards. You got that? You got that out there? That's a good way of looking at it, though. Grasshopper will jump forward. You don't want to go back in the past. Forget the past. You know what I mean? can think about the future, but you know what? The future ain't here yet. Focus on right now. Enjoy it the most you can possibly enjoy it. Enrich yourself, develop yourself. Don't be like these meatheads out there that never read a book, never been to a foreign country, never been to a different state, never hung around with anybody except for the people that they always hung around with, never tried any different new foods, doesn't watch anything other than what that regurgitated mass media throws at them. Come on, people. We're individuals. Learn about who you are. A lot of it can start with astrology. Start to look at your sign. Figure out who you are. Like, oh, you know what? I'm an Aries. What does that mean? Look it up. Check it out. You look it up. Check it out. Then you'll find out for yourself. And then you can take that knowledge and then you can say, okay, what's next? What else is there about me? You know, and then you can start like developing like different parts of yourself. Then there's another whole side that's called working on your shadow self, which is like you can go through a dark night of the soul. I've been through several of them, where you just basically come to a point in your life where you don't even know who the fuck you are anymore. You know what I mean? You just literally, it can be during the night, it can be during the day. It's not like one night, but when it happens, that's kind of almost like what I went through at the jail when I, you know, had my last day at work. I had like almost like a little breakdown, and it was like all consuming. You could barely breathe. You know, you feel like you're losing your mind. You don't know who you are anymore. You're very, very depressed, very, very scared, very nervous, and yeah. Once you get through that, you start working on yourself. It's like a tower moment. If I had here it is. It's like a tower moment. You know what I mean? And you go through it. But I'm getting a phone call, guys. Have a good one.